Well, excuse me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, October 28th, 2025, wherever, whenever, and however you're watching. Thanks for making this part of your week. My name, of course, is Timothy McClellan, and joining me as always, hitting home, is our good buddy John Flynn.
Howdy, partner. How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, even though I'm still recovering. Double time, I guess you could say. One from my fantasy matchup and one from my Sunday matchup with the Cowboys and the Broncos. But we'll kind of go through all that a little bit later.
All right. So what do we say? Let's take a look at the scores from last week, shall we?
Okay, just to let everyone know, we will be without the services of Mr. John Natali, our league commissioner. He has a very, very early shift that he has to work tomorrow. So unfortunately, he will not be joining us today. But let's go ahead and carry on. We'll carry on with the show just the same. Starting with our league matchups from last week. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this one over with right now. Uh, yeah, I was going up against Dino, of course, has the best record in our league. He defeated me by a score of 140.76 to 116.92. And there was three reasons that I came up short. You'll notice my cursor. There's one reason. There's the other reason. And
Yeah.
there's the other one. Each one of those guys underperformed for me. 18-3
It's
was projected score. 6.62 was all he got me. Now CD, he almost got his projected. He got 14.6, but Jake only gave me one. I knew that that Bronco defense is going to be tough, but I didn't think they were going to be that tough.
well, the Broncos defense what was the consensus number one first defense picked in the draft. So you say you can't be surprised, but I think you were kind of you were kind of illusioned by the thought of the Broncos giving up 32 points to Jackson Dart of the Giants last week. So hence why people thought that the Cowboys would do better, but yeah, I think and also that pretty much puts an end to the fantasies of Dak Prescott winning the MVP this year, because
Uh,
he was dreadful last year on against Denver.
yeah, unfortunately he was. So, but I guess the only real good thing come out of it, I got 25.5 points from Rasheed Rice from the big win last night against the Commanders. I got 14.1 from Zay Flowers, got 12 from Bobby Wagner, 14 from the Chiefs defense. They only held the Commanders to only 7 points total last night. Meanwhile, Dino got 25.36 points from Jalen Hurts, a big 33.3 points from Tucker Kraft macaroni and cheese. I'm telling you, that tight end is really getting up there. I like this guy.
Yeah, and I mean, isn't it amazing what happens when you actually target your most consistent player? I mean, what a concept! Because if you look back to the Washington game earlier this year, he went off, and now he had another terrific game last night. I think what is he had 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns on Sunday night, something like that.
That sounds like something like 2 or 3. I mean, he did have a great
Yeah.
night. So
Yeah, I think he had 7 catches for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that's what it was.
and Dino also got 13.5 points from Josh Jacobs, 14.4 from Devontae Smith, got 16 points from that Charger defensive special teams, and he got 8 from Evan McPherson. Looking at my bench, I really didn't have that money on the bench here. The high 10.4 from Chuba Hubbard, and he didn't really leave that much on his bench either. So,
I mean, not a great time to have either Chuba Hubbard or Rico Dowdle when they're being handcuffed. So you just might have to play them. Hope the one's value goes up so they can take the boatload of the running. But if you're a motor of Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard, you're not very happy right now.
yeah. So with that victory, Dino goes to 7-1. Meanwhile, I have dropped my sixth straight matchup. I'm now 1-7. I really, but I do have a couple of players I've kind of been looking for, and I put in a couple of waiver reports. So hopefully those guys will be heading my way here. Meanwhile, going to this matchup between Alex and David, pretty close matchup here with Alex winning 140 even to 135.48. And seeing here some good points here. Bijan Robinson, despite a losing effort, but he only got 5.8. That was very, very terrible. He did get 28.3 points from Jordan Love, got
Yeah,
17.9 from,
that was the big reason he won this week.
yeah.
Jordan Love's performance on Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. They get 17.9 from Javonte Williams, got 20.9 from Jalen Waddle, 15.9 from Mac Hollins, 14.9 from Cal Pitts, 10 from the Eagles defense special teams, and 13 from Indy Bargalis from New England.
Yeah. Yep, you said it right. Indy Borregales. So the kicker the Patriots drafted in the seventh round, sixth or seventh round of the draft this year.
And meanwhile, David got good points from Drake May, 26.28, 20.1 from Devon Achan, 11.4 Stephon Diggs, 18.4 from Rome Odunze, 21.1 from Jamar Chase, 14 from the Patriots defense special teams, and looking down at their well, look at that. Only 9 tenths of a point left on the table for Alex's side on the bench. Meanwhile, George Pickens, 14.8 and 19.7 from Kamani Vidal.
Yeah.
And so with that matchup in the book, so Alex moves up to 3-5, and that's the same record David has right there. They're both 3-5. Uh, let's uh, let's talk about your matchup with the tally here.
Mhm.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think we know the real reason the talent didn't show up, Tim. See,
Let me see.
because I mean, come on, let's be real here. I don't think Natalia wanted to get embarrassed, but by his awful fantasy management this year.
I got 4.8 from Baker Mayfield. Wandale Robinson only got 7.8. Two points from Zaire Franklin. His only bright spot was Breece Hall with a huge 32.86. Got 14.1
Yeah,
from J.K. Dobbins, 11.6 from Jordan Addison, 17.8 from Dallas Goddard. Meanwhile, his bench scores 20.8 left on the table from Khalil Shakir and 10.3 from the X-Man, Xavier Worthy. So, so looking at your side of the board, got some good points from Jackson Dart. Terry McLaurin back in the lineup and did pretty good. Chris Olave, Cortland Sutton, Jordan Brooks, And big 20 points from Chris Boswell. So,
Yeah, Boswell is going to be in contention for first team All Pro kicker again this year.
mhm. Yeah, it looks like the only points left on the table was David Njoku with 13-7. So,
I mean, I was without Lamar Jackson. I had no Lamar Jackson. I had no Garrett Wilson. I had no Nico Collins. They were all out with injuries. Yet I still won, and now I'm 6-2.
and that means the tally goes down to 3-5 here. Going to this next matchup, we got Lucas and Casey, and Lucas won this matchup by a score of 154.08 to 143.68. Lucas got some pretty good points from most of his players, including Justin Herbert, James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, and Tedroa McMillan. Looks like they did pretty good there. Looking at his bench, huh? Left 24.1 points on the table from RJ Harvey, who, thanks to three touchdowns from RJ Harvey in that game against Dallas. And on the other side here, Casey was able to get 23.18 points from Daniel Jones, 25.5 from Chase Brown, 14.4 from Justin Jefferson, 23.5 from Michael Pittman, 26.9 from Troy Franklin, and 12 from the Browns defense and special teams there. So there was and looking at this is his bench total. Well, Patrick Mahomes left him 22.96 on the table over on Casey's side of the board. So with that
I
being
mean, I found it insane. I mean, who had Patrick Mahomes? Just,
Casey,
I mean,
he had Patrick Mahomes on the bench.
yeah. So, and who did he have starting again? Because I just got out of my train.
He had Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I could see the logic here between that because he had two favorable matchups at the quarterback position. But now the question is, should you consider trading Daniel Jones? Because he brings a lot of value and maybe and I think really you could use another piece of wide receiver the rest of the way. So that's maybe that's something he should explore.
Yeah, maybe he's got Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Troy Franklin as a starter right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown is coming off the bench as well as Jackson Smith-Njigba and Jacoby
Yeah,
Myers. They'll be coming off the bye weeks
yeah,
this week. So,
yeah. Or if not, you can definitely upgrade a running back if you're. I mean, if you have Jackson Smith and Jigba and Amon-Ra St. Brown, then I mean,
oh yeah,
Casey. I mean, if his RB2 spot is upgraded, yeah, he could. Casey will be as big a threat as anybody in our league.
yeah, that's true. So with that victory, Lucas goes to 6-2, while Casey is at 500 now with a record of 4-4. And finally, we had our man Andrew taking down Adam by a score of 165.8 to 131.52. Giving them points for Andrew was Bo Nix with 23.78 points, big day for him, and a big 33-4 from Saquon Barkley. T. Higgins got him 11-4. Lab McConkey with 21-8. Aronde Gadsden with 18-7. Jack Kennedy with a respectable 19.1, and the Broncos defense and special teams got him 10 points. 15 points from Dicker the kicker. And looking at bench total, Caleb Williams left 11.8, and Matt Prater for Buffalo 12.0 even. And Adam, let's see where he had 23.22 from Josh Allen. There's the big man, Jonathan Taylor. We have some comments about Jonathan Taylor coming up here in a little bit. He got 37.4.
Yep, and Jonathan Taylor was the number one scorer in fantasy this week. Nobody scored more points in fantasy than he did.
Mm-hmm. Got 14.3 from George Kittle, 22.9 from Travis Kelsey from last night's game, and Colts defense special teams got him 11 points. Meanwhile, his bench players, Aaron Rodgers left 16.76. Chase McLaughlin got 17 on the bench here. And I guess a good thing he put that Steeler defense on the bench, -1.
Yeah, that turned out to be a smart play.
And so with that,
And
uh,
given John Natale's generous scoring for defenses, seeing the negative for defense is super rare. So, because I know in regular scoring, I had the Vikings defense in one of my other leagues, and they gave me a -2.
yeah. So so with that victory, that moves Andrew to 5-3, and that puts Adam down to 2-6. So that's how the scoring went in our league last week. Now we go ahead and look forward to this coming week. And I have a matchup this week against Alex. Let me see if we can pop those numbers up here. All right, come on. All right, here we go with me and Adam going at it this week, and he won our first matchup 147-2 to 131.12. This week, right now the projection is 136.7 for me, 105 even for Alex here, and I've pretty much got the check marks for my wide receiver, my tight end, my flex, my defense, all the way to the quarterback. But he's got two very good running backs in his lineup. He's got Bijan Robinson and Javonte Williams. So let's see. I'll see my bench here. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to let go of Cam Skattebo, and I really feel so sorry for that guy. He was having a great rookie's year.
Yeah, I know we'll be talking about that and the Giants running back situation in a little bit.
Oh yeah. And, so with Skattebo out, I think it's Tracy time again. I don't
Yep.
think so.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrone Tracy is one of the more obvious waiver wire claims to pick up.
And if I'm not mistaken, I jumped on that as soon as I heard about Cam Skattebo this morning when I was watching ESPN. I knew I had to get my hands on Tyrone Tracy. He is a pretty good young running back that the Giants have on their roster.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see how that works out when the waiver wire clears up tomorrow. Lucas and David are going to face each other. Right now, Lucas is projected at 130, 143, 143.9, and David at 124.8. Looks like the only thing that David has is his running back one for Devon Achan. His flex option, Jamar Chase, pretty nice. Pitchers defense, they should, they should do pretty good against the Falcons this week. Meanwhile, all the other check marks over on Lucas's side. So AJ Brown, well, Eagles are going on the bye. So, hmm. I was thinking maybe he ought to put R.J. Harvey in a starting lineup after that big game
Yeah.
he had. After that big game he had Sunday.
I mean, I can't say I'm surprised about RJ Harvey because I think eventually, I thought that at some point RJ Harvey was going to be the lead back for the Broncos, and now he's taking pretty firm command over J.K. Dobbins.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
Uh,
not a matter of if, it was a matter of when, and
right.
I thought that was a great pickup by Sean Payton and Sean Payton in the draft.
Yeah, that's already paid off pretty good dividends so far. We have Andrew going up against Casey this week. Andrew right now is projected at 133 even to 144.9. Take a look at where the check marks lie. Andrew's got the running back. He's got the tight end and the kicker. Meanwhile, all the other check marks are over on Casey's side of the board here. If I take a good look at this thing, you could get some huge points over here from JSN this week against the Commanders. And looking at the bench players, Browns are on the bye. Meanwhile, Andrew still has one empty spot on his bench that he can use if he wanted to.
Yep.
So, so that's how their matchup is so far. Over to this matchup, we'll have Adam against Natali. Oh, 134.3 for Adam, 90.3 for Natali. Let's take a look here. Okay, Natali's got two starters that are on the bye week. Meanwhile, all the other check marks are over on Adam's side of the board. See if any bench players will do so good. Maybe Rashid Shaheed
Yeah.
or maybe
I,
Brock Purdy, but he's still questionable going into the game against the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if Rashid Shaheed is going to be an ex-New Orleans Saint by the end of next week? Because Adam Schefter is saying, on ESPN that there is a good chance that Rashid Shaheed is going to get traded between now and the trade deadline next week. So that's something else to keep in mind.
Uh-huh.
And if he does get traded this week, there's a good shot he won't be activated in time for his team's game on Sunday.
Right. So, So if he does get traded,
I mean,
wonder where he would go.
I think he would be a great fit for the Bills.
Oh, for Buffalo.
Yeah,
Gotta
I think I think he could be a receiver that expands that's able to go vertical down the field. And that would be great to match up with Josh Allen's skill set because I think if the Bills are able to acquire him, I think that would be a big plus for them.
Oh, we'll take a look at that and see what happens between now and next Tuesday.
Which would also be bad news for Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman fantasy owners, and I have more on what I think is going to happen with them coming up in a little bit.
Right, that is true. That is true. So that's how that matchup goes right now. And well, Flynn, you'll be going up against old Dino here, and as you see in the first week of the season, he defeated you by a score of 125.98 to 116.66. Right now, you have a projected total of 151.5, and he's got 107.
Yeah, first place in the league is on the line here this week. So that is between the two of us.
Oh yeah, so Looks like you got most of the check marks on your way. He needs a running back, and he'll have to get a defensive player on here because Zach Bond and the Eagles are on the bye this week.
And I think the buys this week. Let me get this straight. There, the Eagles, the Jets, the Browns, and I think is there one more team that's on the bye this week?
That would be the Bucks.
Yep, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. So for our friend Dashy who's watching, yeah, we remember to give our give the bye weeks. So let's see if there's anyone he can get off. Well, he's gonna have a lot of players on going on the bye this week. Matthew Golden's coming back in the lineup. So is Rico Dowdle. Uh, Dino. Hint hint. So this will be. I'll definitely be keeping up with this matchup. I mean, you're at 6-2. He's at 7-1. First place in the league on the line.
Yeah,
That is going to be an extremely interesting matchup right there. So,
yeah. And remember, there's only and we're in the same division, so and only one bye comes out of that. So yes,
right,
so if Diana wins, he'll be up 2 games plus the tiebreaker. So because he beat me twice.
right.
So so this feels like a potential 1 seed clinching win if Donald's able to pull it out. If he doesn't, it's going to be game on between now for the next game on for the next 5 weeks leading into the fantasy playoffs in our league.
Oh, definitely. So, oh boy,
Huge
I would
game this
not,
week.
I would not want to bet the farm on this one.
Yeah.
So that's basically that's the report here for our fantasy league. Now, as we get into the headlines, yeah, let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he has had a very good season. In fact, he has scored at least one touchdown in every single game so far this year. I did. Let me see if I can pull up the screen here. I'm gonna pull up the screen showing his current stats and his projected stats here. Here he is. If we, we can get that screen up there. There it is. Yeah, we're looking at Jonathan Taylor's numbers here. This is for regular season, his projected totals in his last 5 games, and for his career here. So already he has racked up a total of 850 rushing yards. He's averaging 5.9 yards a carry. He's got 12 touchdowns. Longest one was an 80-yarder. And he's helping his own cause in the receiving department with 25 receptions for 206 yards, which is an average of 8.2 yards a catch, and 2 touchdowns there. Look at these projected numbers. I mean, if he keeps going the pace that he is, 1806. Now, that's pretty big in and of itself, right there.
Right.
1,806 yards.
Yeah, and he is on, and he's actually on pace for 2,000. He's on the same pace as Saquon Barkley was for his 2,000 yard season last year.
Right.
So
So, and he's got projected for 26. Now, I think they mentioned the record for most rushing touchdowns in a season. That was it 31 or 32? And I can't remember the guy's name. I I will have to I will have to look that up. But your thoughts on Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, how is he not the MVP of the league? Considering where the Colts have been the last few years, so they've been in the middle of the pack of things. But the Colts make some moves, and Jonathan Taylor running behind that elite offensive line. So he's been the best running back in the NFL so far this season, and he's has the benefit of brilliant coaching by Shane Steichen, who's turned so who has been superb in things. Um, uh, and in terms of where he is in fantasy and PPR, I'll pull this up right now that Jonathan Taylor is averaging 27.1 fantasy points a game in PPR settings, and he has three top one finishes. He has five finishes inside weekly finishes inside the top three. He in he has 5 games this season where he scored 29 points or more. Um, yeah, he has 3 games he has 4 games this season with 3 or more total touchdowns, because week 3 against both games against Tennessee, week 6, week 5 against the Raiders, week 7 against the Chargers. So he is having a magnificent season so far.
Magnificent season. Oh, by the way, I found the stat right here. Most rushing yards in a season, that was LaDainian Tomlinson with the San Diego Chargers, of course, the LA Chargers. Tomlinson rushed for 28 total touchdowns in 2006. So,
Yeah.
could Jonathan Taylor? I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. I
Right.
mean,
It would be something if that were the case.
oh yeah. So if any of y'all people have Jonathan Taylor, y'all be a fool to bench him, or unless he goes on the bye week, or drop him because he is a hot commodity. I gotta tell you. Let's see here. Oh, I have a question here from Ezekiel Ruiz 1466. Should I drop Calvin Ridley for a defense, or should I hold him in injured reserve?
I mean, he's gonna be. I don't know how he's gonna be, even if he does come back, because of how poor Tennessee has looked this season. I mean, Tennessee has been the worst team in football this season, and I think there's and a hamstring injury is hard to recover from. So I could consider saying bye bye to Calvin Ridley for the season if I were you. Maybe he comes back, but if you need a defense, because of a roster need, I think you can say goodbye.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would tend to agree. Tennessee is pretty much one of the bottom feeders in the league. They'll probably get probably a top 5 draft pick next year. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking right there. And we have Vampire Luke, our buddy Vampire Luke. James Cook is him.
No doubt.
James Cook doing a good job there, helping the run game for those Buffalo Bills. Now we go to someone. Now we go from a player who's very good to a team that's pretty bad. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a good offense, but it's the Steelers defense that's kind of got me scratching my head. Um,
Yeah, I think that's the most shocking of all the defense performances so far this season, and it is that of the Steelers, and that they rank in the bottom quadrant. They rank 31st in passing defense. They rank 18th in rush defense, and you would have to think, where TJ Watt has been relatively healthy, that they would be able to play at a high level, but that is just not the case right now, and
and I think the Steelers need to consider making a change at defensive coordinator, because right now Terrell Austin isn't cutting it, and even if you look even if you look in fantasy purposes, in that that the Steelers have given up the second most points to tight ends, the third most points to quarterbacks, the fifth most points to wide receivers, and only the 12th fewest points to running backs. But it wouldn't make a difference either way right now, because Jonathan Taylor is having a season for the ages on his front. So
Oh yeah, that's definitely a case right there. Let's see. So we talk about John Taylor. We talk about Steeler defense. Talk about a guy who could still be in the talks for MVP. Baker Mayfield. Was this past week a bad game or a bad sign?
I honestly think this was a game where he really didn't have to do much. He was just making sure the critical mistake was not made, because the Saints were sloppy. The Saints were pretty much sloppy all game long, and the Saints have been arguably the worst team in the NFC so far this season. And if you really look into everything, and Baker Mayfield actually wasn't that what wasn't that great, but again, he really didn't have to do much because he was better than whoever the Saints put out. And Spencer Rattler got benched in the middle of the game, and Tyler Shuck was called in to back him up, and the Saints announced today that he's going to wind up being the starter. Uh, it really was just making sure no one got hurt, and all that, because the Saints were without Bucky Irving for the game, really not much in the way of there. So, but but yeah, I think Baker Mayfield could have played himself out of the MVP conversation. That's for sure. If you look at everything, although the Saints are 6-2.
Right. So Baker Mayfield's probably worked his way out. So is Dak Prescott after last Sunday. So Jonathan Taylor, pretty much the front runner in this one here. We gotta talk about that terrible injury to Cam Skattebo. They decided to put him on the IR this week. So
It's
Tyrone Tracy is a big name for the Giants as far as the backup running back is concerned. His name's big on the waiver wires. Anyone else that could step up? Who is the other running backs that got on the roster?
I mean, they have Turbo Miller, they have Devin Singletary, but really at this point, Devin Singletary is at best a backup, and he could even be third string, even with the Skattebo injury, because I think Turbo Miller is going to be activated, promoted from the practice squad to the active roster. So I think he's going to be he might get some opportunities as well. So that was a gruesome looking injury. In fact, it was a dislocation of his ankle on a hip drop tackle that wasn't called for a personal foul, which I was kind of infuriated by, because like there were like four game changing calls in that game, all benefited the Eagles, because that tush push in earlier in the game, which was ruled down, and Hurts fumbled the ball, but he was called down before Kayvon Thibodeau picked it up. The a play was it wasn't called, and then 2 plays later, Saquon had his second touchdown of the second quarter of the game there. And you had that. Then you had a 61-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Dart to Darius Slayton that was called wiped off because of supposed offensive pass interference, but it was clearly the defensive back that was doing the interference yet with that. So it's just simply a horrendous day at the office for the officiating uh, uh, uh for for the refs in that game.
Yeah, referees making those bull crap calls again. So when we go on the air next Tuesday, the trade deadline will have come and gone. Um, I think Natalia left something earlier in our group chat on Facebook. Said Tyler Lockett expected to sign with the Raiders. What impact will he have with them? Now that
Uh,
would be an interesting pickup.
well, I mean, you look at, I think you look at that, and you look at previous relationships he's had with Pete Carroll. Of course, the two of them go way back, and then Geno Smith was the quarterback there for a couple of years together in Seattle. Um, so that would be great. Did he actually sign already? Because it wasn't. Yeah, he did indeed join the Raiders. Um,
Oh, so it's already a done deal.
yeah, I mean, and then in terms of what Pete Carroll said to the press regarding him, I mean, he's putting some high expectations on him. So you have to think that maybe if the Raiders trade Jacoby Myers, and I think there's a good bet that he gets traded, so that he could be in line to be a potential fantasy league winner, if they keep targeting him.
Okay. Okay. Now I want to ask you this question. From a point of view of the Cowboys. Cowboys are saying they should try to get Max Crosby from the Raiders. There's another source that said that the Cowboys would probably be better off if they got Miles Garrett in a trade. So my question is, um, first name that comes to my mind is Trayvon Diggs. He really has not played up to his full potential, at least last couple of years with the Cowboys. He's just not played too well with them. So maybe trade Trayvon Diggs for one of those guys.
I don't think that would be useful to the Cowboys if they traded for Garrett, because I mean, Garrett is great, but the contract is just ridiculous. So the one he signed with the Browns in the off season, because where he's getting paid $40 million a year, and I don't think the Cowboys can afford
Wow.
another contract. But I mean, remember, they wouldn't pay Micah Parsons, but then they say,
Right.
let's trade draft picks and sign and trade for Miles Garrett instead. That would be quite an awkward message to send out to the league.
But then on the upside, the Cowboys do have four first round draft picks over the next 2 years.
Yeah,
So
but
hopefully they can build up on the defense with those draft picks.
yeah, I just think they need youth and athleticism on that defense. I think especially looking, they need of a Micah Parsons, someone who can try to replace Micah Parsons, someone to get after the quarterback, because I really think the front seven is what I'm more concerned about than the secondary.
Right.
So it's because if you can't get to the quarterback, it makes it hard for you to stop the other team.
Yeah, that's true. That's true there. So, uh, anything else we need to discuss here?
Yeah, I mean, we could also talk about some a big name that came roaring back to the scene this weekend, and it was Saquon Barkley. Now, Barkley
Oh
did leave.
yes.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley did leave the game early because his groin acted up, but he had 14 rushes, 150 yards, including a 65-yard touchdown run, the second play of the game, and then he also had a receiving touchdown. So it clear by far his best performance of the season so far. So is it clear to say that Saquon Barkley is back?
Well, that was a great game that he had. I mean, if I can see something like that over the next couple of weeks, I can definitely say he's back. But his first game with at least 100 yards rushing here, yeah, it was very good. But I want to see what more he can do in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean it took. I mean I think Kevin Petullo is being has improved a little bit since he really struggled the last few for a couple of weeks earlier in the month. So I think it's going to be about getting Saquon Barkley involved because the air of invincibility with the Eagles starts when Saquon Barkley gets fed the ball and giving him more opportunities to hit home runs like he did all of last year.
Yep, that is true. So let's see here. Try to come up with a question for our trivia time. I think it is trivia time, is it?
And actually one more it's, one more thing how about Drake May, the season that he's having, and he's currently currently QB3 for the season. I guess because he's been incredible, and he had another great game against the Browns, and actually in PP Drake May is now the number 2 fantasy quarterback in the NFL so far, and he had another great performance against the Browns. 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he's had 6 weekly top 10 finishes, and he scored 20 or more points in 6 of his last 7 games.
Yeah, so not bad there. So let's see here. Am I looking at the right thing? So yeah, as I said, I think those Patriots could overtake the Bills that win the AFC East. I mean that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a
I mean,
strong possibility.
yeah. I mean, the Patriots are 6-2. The Bills are 5-2. The Patriots have the Falcons this week, while the Bills host the Chiefs.
Right. So we'll take a look here. So yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting matchup. Patriots and Chiefs. Is that coming up pretty soon?
The Bills Chiefs is this
Oh,
week.
Oh yes, Bills and Chiefs. That is must see TV right there. If I
Yeah,
wasn't able to watch any game, if I was only able to watch one game this week, I might actually watch Bills Chiefs
yeah.
because that would be a definite going right there. So okay, so I think now we could do trivia time. I tried to come up with something during the show or maybe before the show. This is just a random question. So I was just thinking of a question I could ask. Um, this basically has to do with defense here. So the question is, which player holds the NFL record for the most sacks in one game?
Ooh. Okay.
Most sacks in one game. And remember,
Yeah.
they first started recording sacks in 1982. So, you got anything?
I wound up not getting anything this week. So
No harm, no foul. So I guess with that, we could go ahead and talking about. Oh, here comes our friend Dashy. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get Dashy, before we get to your question here, we have a start and a sit from Mr. Flynn.
all
So,
right. So
so that the floor is yours.
I mean, it's been a while since we've done this, so I'm gonna give you my starts and sits for the week. So my fantasy sleeper of the week. I'll start with that. I'm gonna go with Bam Knight of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is another week where the Cardinals are gonna be without Amari Mercado, and of course Trey Benson is on the injured reserve. The Cardinals are coming off their bye week, and they have a matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, who have just been abysmal this year against running backs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bam Knight is able to go off. My sits of the week are the Bills wide receivers against the Kansas City Chiefs. And why do I say receivers? With Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. I just don't like. I think the way the Chiefs defense has played. Now the Chiefs have played the Raiders and the Commanders the last couple of weeks, but the Chiefs defense has been playing at a high level for most of the season. So I don't. I'm not a believer in what they have to offer this week against the Chiefs. So I don't I think this is going to be a game where Josh Allen is going to have to win the game with his legs. So I don't think I'm going to set them for the week. Now, my fantasy start of the week, I'm going to go with Travis Hunter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going up against the porous Raiders secondary, but both teams are coming off bye weeks. In this one, so I could see Travis Hunter, go off in this one. I could see him having 100 yards receiving and a touchdown in this one. So I would put him in my lineup, my a must start. And I think especially considering that the Jaguars are coming off back-to-back losses before the bye, so I think so they're going to be eager to bounce back and get into the win column. So that's where I'm going to go with that one. So my sits are Bills wide receivers. My sleeper is Bam Knight, and my starter for this week is Travis Hunter.
Very nice selection. So hopefully all you players out there took a few notes from Mr. Flynn here. Oh, before we our friend Dashy had a very interesting question, and
Yeah.
I think I may know. Oh, let's pop it up again. Jets beat the Bengals in the Mangold Miracle. Name other miracle games that featured either the Jets or the Giants.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Yeah, I know the one with the Giants. I know the one with the Giants, but
Two of them.
I think I may know the one with the Jets as well.
Yes, and we know that one too. So
I think I may know that one, but I know the one that involved the Giants. I know that one.
yep.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get to our matchups for the NFL matchups. It's week 9 already, and it as always starts the Monday night game. It's the
Wait,
Baltimore.
it starts with the Monday night game.
Well, it would be nice if it did start with a Monday night game, but technically Monday is actually the end of the NFL weekend. So let's reverse that back to Thursday night.
Nah, that's better.
We'll start we'll start with the Thursday night game. Uh oh man, this is going to be ugly. It's the Baltimore Ravens versus the Miami Dolphins. Ravens are coming at 7.5 point favorites, and uh, Coach Harbaugh said that Lamar should be ready to play in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the way the Ravens botched that injury report, where they said Lamar Jackson was a full participant in practice and then he did not play, that should anger a lot of anger a lot of fantasy football players. Um, so who had Lamar Jackson. Luckily for me, I had a good backup in Jackson Dart on Sunday this past week, but yeah, in this game, I'm gonna pick the Ravens. I just think the Dolphins winning last week against the Falcons was a fluke. So it's more of a reflection of the Falcons being so inconsistent. So in this one, give me the Ravens to win and cover. I think this is a big game for Derrick Henry, big game for Zay Flowers. I think, but in the end, I picked
Yep.
the Ravens to win this game, 37-18.
Alrighty then. As I am looking for my little highlighter here, uh, Natalie did give us his picks. He gave them to us before we went on the air, and he too is going with the Ravens over the Dolphins to win and cover. So he's going to take the Ravens over the Dolphins by a score of 27-17. So that's what Natalie says right there. And Flynn has stepped out a bit, but he'll be right back. So with that being said, let me give my pick here. Boy, so Dolphins are just having a very terrible team. Even though the Dolphins did get a victory last week, I'm not letting Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel off the hook just for that one win. I'm not going to let them off that easy. They still got basically a half season to go. But I'm thinking either one or the other will be gone either before the season is over or maybe after the season. But one or both is going to go. And with that, and the fact that Lamar Jackson should be back in the lineup for next week, I'm going to give a similar score to like Natalie did, but mine is going to be a little bit different. I'm giving the score Baltimore 28, Miami 18. I say Baltimore wins and covers this one. And we'll just go ahead and go to the next game on the list. The Chicago Bears are heading into Bengal country over in Cincinnati. Bears are coming in at 2.5 point favorites. And let me give it a tally. And a tally said he's picking the Bears over the Bengals 24-20. So he takes the Bears to win and cover. I will most likely do the same thing as well. I think the Bengals still are without Jordan Love, or not Jordan Love. I mean Joe Burrow. Man, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. I'm trying to fight drowsiness so I can get through this show. So there'd be no problem. So it's Joe Burrow is still out. Chicago still has their quarterback, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bears too. 2.5 more favorites. They'll cover that no problem. Give me a score of 26 to 20. Give me the Bears over the Bengals.
So I think Cincinnati is gonna bounce back and win this game, but I just don't think Cincinnati is gonna make the playoffs per se. But I just think the issue with the Bears is that they've had inconsistent quarterback play, and that's really holding them back. Now, Joe Flacco was good, not great last week, and he needed to be great to overcome all the defensive atrocities that the Bengals inflicted upon their fans on Sunday, giving them 502 yards of offense to Justin Fields and the Jets, but. I do think the Bengals are going to bounce back in this game, and I think and I think with the Bears secondary banged up, I think that's going to leave a room for Jamar Chase and T Higgins to go off. So, give me the Bengals to win this one, 27-21.
Oh, so Flynn is going with the Bengals in this one. Interesting. We'll see how that goes here, and from there we have we have the NFC North matchup. The Vikings going into Detroit to take on the Lions. The Lions are 8.5-point favorites, and according to Natali, he's got the Lions winning and covering no problem with a score of 31-20. He's taking the Lions.
Yeah.
I am taking the Lions to win and cover as well by a score of 30-21.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the Vikings offensive line, and they're still banged up with injuries. We still haven't seen Christian Darrisaw yet, but Kevin O'Connell is saying that he's hopeful that Darrisaw comes back. But even if Darrisaw comes back, is he going to be 100%? I think that's what I'm really concerned about. But big game for Gibbs, big game for Montgomery. And I just don't like this matchup for the Vikings at all with the Lions coming off their bye week. So I'm going to take the Lions to beat to crush the Vikings by a score of 30-17.
All right, sounded interesting. Now we go to Green Bay. The Packers are at home. They are 12.5-point favorites against the visiting Carolina Panthers. And according to Natali here, he'll take the Rams to win and cover on this one. He is going with the Rams 28-14 over the Panthers. I'm not going to be. He's giving the Rams 28 points. I'm going to. Wait a minute. It's not Rams over the Panthers, is it? No, it's Panthers over the Packers.
And the Panthers.
I guess he misspelled. I guess he gave the wrong matchup here, but I guess he's taking the Packers over the Panthers. He said Rams here in the notes, but I think we know what he means. So
yeah,
but I think this is going to be a real blowout right here. I mean, I see the Packers. I see the Packers covering this one by a mile here. Jordan Love, some people don't want to trust him yet, but he's got some good receivers. He's got Christian Watson. Matthew Golden, the young receiver from Texas, is doing a great job. Carolina's going to have a hard time on this one. I'm taking the Packers decisively by a score of 33-13. Oh, and Tally, you got the controls, right?
I've got the controls.
Yeah, you've got the controls.
Yeah.
Lock up Green Bay for me if you would. There you go. Thank you, sir. And now we go to next game. We have the Denver Broncos against the Houston Texans. Wait a minute. Houston is picked by 1.5 at home.
You would be correct, Mr. Timothy.
I don't think. No. That I mean, after the season that Denver has had so far, especially last week, when they totally shut down my boys. This it almost seems unfair here, but like I said, in the last couple of weeks, Houston is still not quite that team that has dominated the AFC South for the last couple of years. Denver just has a great defense that just ain't gonna quit, and that offense, they better watch out for RJ Harvey. If he has a game they had last week, they has this week, they better watch out. I'm gonna have to go with Denver on this one. And let's see here. Let's go. They scored 44 last week. Let's go. I will take Denver over Houston by a score of 35-24. Ooh. Italia's got this one a little bit closer than a lot of people think. He's going the Broncos over the Texans 26-23. Interesting there.
Yeah, I mean, last week both of you picked against the Texans, and you were proven wrong. Well, I'll tell you right, it's going to be the same thing again. I'm picking the Houston Texans to win the game. I mean, do you know that the Texans have the number one scoring defense in the NFL? So they've only given up they've given up less than 15 points per game. So yeah, that's how good they are. And I think and I think Bo Nix is going to turn back into a pumpkin this week when he goes up against a real defense, unlike the Texas neighbors up to their north. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think Houston, if Nico Collins comes back, he's got a big advantage because he's going to miss Patrick Surtain, who is placed on injured reserve this week. So I'm going to pick the Texans in a low scoring game, mind you. I still want to see more from CJ Stroud, but I think the Texans are going to win this game. It's going to be a defensive game. I think the Texans are going to make enough big plays to defend home turf successfully. I've got them winning 16-13.
Yeah, that is a low scoring game indeed.
But it's not the garbage game of the week. I'll tell you that. There's another one coming up.
I think I know. I think I know what one you might be talking about, but you're probably not talking about this next game between the Falcons and the Patriots over at Gillette Stadium. The Patriots come in at 5.5 point favorites. Uh, Man, the Falcons were trash last week, just like my Cowboys were. Drake May is having an awesome year. As I said, he could probably lead the Patriots to an AFC East championship here. 5.5 points. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that, and I'll give me the Patriots. Give me the Patriots by a score. Let's say 27. Hmm. I'm going to say 27-21. Give me the Patriots to win and cover. The tally here says, oh, this is actually his point spread game of the week. He takes 25-22. He's going to take the Patriots, but he's taking the Falcons for the points.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the points with the Atlanta Falcons because like the games featuring inconsistent teams are the games I hate to bet the most because you don't know which version of the team is going to show up. And clearly, the Falcons have, as they showed against Buffalo, that they have the talent to go places, but they don't have the coaching to have them consistently play at a high level. So I'm gonna take the Patriots to win, but I think the Falcons defensive line is gonna make enough plays to keep it close. So what does this mean for fantasy? Obviously, Bijan's status doesn't change. I think he's gonna bounce back. But I do think I do think Drake London is gonna have a good game, and I think. And I think on the other side, I think it's going to be Travion Henderson that's going to come out and have a big game. So I think those are guys you want to have in your lineup. But I got the Patriots winning this one 23-20.
All right. And now we go to MetLife Stadium where the Giants are at home facing the 49ers that they are 2.5 point favorites. Uh, San Francisco still pretty much banged up, both on offense and defense. Giants really banged up with the loss of Camp Skattebo to the injured reserves. That's going to most likely bring in Tyrone Tracy there. Let's see what Natalie says. He's taking the 49ers over the Giants 27-24, which sounds like a pretty good score here. Uh, yeah, it's going to be a huge loss there for the. Not going to be that bad of a loss, but I am going to take the Niners. I'm going to take the Niners over the Giants by a score of 24-20.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be another week of monitoring the injury reports because both San Francisco has Brock Purdy, who I think he's going to be coming back and making the start, but it's still unclear. But but then on defense, we'll have to see about what Bryce Hart, Bryce Huff, and Yetur Gross Matos are if they're able to go, but. But either way, I think San Francisco is the better team. They're coming off a loss. They're coming off a dreadful performance against the Texans. Now they have a much easier defense to roam against. I'm looking at big game. Big game obviously for Skattebo. Big game for Kittle. I think the Niners are gonna put up enough points to win this game. Give me the Niners to win 30-20 over the New York Football Giants.
All right, then. Now we go to Pittsburgh. They will be at home against the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts are coming in as 3-point favorites. Natalie takes the Colts over the Steelers 30-26. I am going to take the Colts over the Steelers by a score of 31-23.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tim. We're sharing the brain. This is another tough one to predict, but the Colts have been the best team in the NFL so far this season, and they have the best offensive line in the football. Their defense has been good, not elite yet, so we'll need to see. So I think the Colts should absolutely add a couple of pieces to their defense before the trade deadline. I know there's a lot of notable defensive players that'll be that. Could be traded between now and the deadline next week, but this Colts offense against the Steelers defense is just a match. It's just a mismatch. I'm going to take the Colts to win by a score of 31-23.
Alrighty then. So that being said, we go now to Tennessee, where the Titans are going to be at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers come in at 10.5-point favorites. The tally here, he's going with the Chargers over the Titans by a score of 29-16. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to do a double up here. I'm going to go Chargers 28, Titans 14.
I mean, I'm going with the Chargers as well. I just want to see how that backfield evolves, and I mean, because Kamadi Vidal came in and became the primary back, so we'll see how how that goes. And I also want to see if Arande Gadsden continues to pick up where he left off the last couple of weeks. He had 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown last week against the Vikings. Added to what he had the week before, where he went off where he had a big game against the Colts. So I think those are guys you should be putting into your lineup. Also, Lad McConkey is playing much better the last couple of weeks. So he might be a top 20 receiver the rest of the year. So those are things on my mind. And in fact, Lad McConkey's last couple of games, really his last 3 games he's had 7 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown against Miami, 9 catches for 67 yards against Indy, and then last week 6 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown against Minnesota. So I think so he's back to being a reliable receiver again. So I think those things are a factor here. So but in the end, give me the Chargers to win this game by a score of 24-3. It is not my lock of the week, but it's my garbage game of the week.
Now that was kind of unexpected. Actually, the next game, we got the Jaguars and the Raiders.
Yeah, we'll do that one first.
Want to do what first?
Yeah, we'll do Jags Raiders first because you just mentioned it. So the Jags are 3-point road favorites against the Raiders. Each of these teams are coming off a bye week. So who do you got?
Well, first of all, both Natalie and myself consider this our garbage game for this week. And according to Natalie, this is going to be kind of a low-scoring game here. He's got the Jags over the Raiders by a score of 20-16. And as far as I go, I'm going with the Jags. I'm going with the Jaguars myself. I'm going to say I'm going to go with the Jags over the Raiders, 17-13. I don't see this one being that big of a score.
I think it's going to be a little bit more high scoring than that because the Raiders defense is not great. But I think for this game we're really going to monitor the progress of Devin Lloyd and whether he's going to be able to come back because Devin Lloyd was the best defensive player in football before, in the first month of the season, but then he left the game against Seattle early due to injury. And then of course he missed the game against the Rams and made a big difference on him. But nonetheless, though, I think Jacksonville's the better team, and I think they're gonna create a lot of havoc. So I think Jacksonville's gonna win the game 26-17 over the Raiders.
All right. I guess we can agree this is the game of the week.
Yeah, I mean, we also have the other game 4:05 Eastern on Fox with the Rams and the Saints.
Oh yes, I don't think we've talked about that one yet. Rams and Saints. Rams are at home. They are 14.5-point favorites, which doesn't really surprise me that much. Tally's got the Rams over the Saints by a score of 31-14. And Mr. Flynn, if you could lock up the Rams for Mr. Natali.
I'd say not just yet because I'll say because my score is 31-9 with the Rams over the Saints. I just think the Rams coming off their bye week and with the Saints starting Tyler Shuck against that defense, that's just not a viable matchup. And I also don't know about whether it's a good idea to start Alvin Kamara or not in this situation. So you got that. So, but even if Puka Nacua doesn't play, I still think this is a game where it'll benefit the Rams. Because I think the Rams are definitely a threat to go to the Super Bowl representing the NFC. So I have the Rams winning 31-9, and like the tally, the Rams over the Saints is my lock of the week.
Alrighty then, and I am going to be unanimous in the decision. I'm taking the Rams over the Saints by a score of 30-13.
Uh-huh.
All right. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, now we can go to the game of the week: the Kansas
Yeah.
City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Over in cold Buffalo, where the Chiefs will come in at 1.5 point favorites. According to Natalie, oh, he's taking the Bills over the Chiefs by a score of 32-30. Very, very close game. Yeah, I agree. This will probably be an aerial combat showdown, if you know what I mean. There's going to be a lot of scores set by airmail. So with that, and they're playing in Buffalo. Um, I'm going to give the edge to Buffalo. This is going to be a very close game. 28, 26. Yeah, 28-26. Buffalo wins a nail biter.
I'm going to take the team with the better coach and the better defense. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs to win this ball game. I think because I think the way the defense has been playing for the Chiefs, I think is going to play a factor in this one. So and yeah, the Bills had a great offensive output, but that was against the Panthers. Now they have a much taller task going up against the Chiefs, who are firing on all cylinders. And it doesn't matter to me what the schedule was because 3 weeks ago they pounced the Lions on Sunday Night Football. So I just think right now the more trustworthy team, and the team and the quarterback who is number one in fantasy is going to be playing for the red and white in this game. So with weather, wind doesn't matter. I'm taking the Chiefs any day of the week. Chiefs 27, Bills 20.
Alrighty then. Huh. That would be an interesting game to watch. I hope one of my local stations will carry that one. That might be a
It's not.
nationwide
It's a
game out there.
nationally broadcast game. Everybody's going to get it.
So everyone's going to get it. How
Yep.
sweet. And then we go to the Sunday night game where you have the Seattle Seahawks traveling all the way to our nation's capital to take on the Washington Commanders, and the Seahawks come in at 3.5 point favorites. Um, Commanders are still a little banged up, even though Terry McLaurin is back in the lineup, and rightfully so, and he did very well. Well, I guess he didn't do too good last night against the Kansas City Chiefs, but Seattle's coming in. They have pretty good offense. JSN, I can see him getting at least 2 touchdowns in that matchup. So I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to win in this one. Let's give it a score of 26 to nah. Give me I'm gonna call it 28-20. Give me the Seahawks 28-20. And Natalie here says 26-21 Seahawks over Commanders.
Yeah, I love Seattle in this one. I think remember Seattle's coming off a bye week, which is a big advantage, and I think Sam Darnold is going to be a great start against the beleaguered Commanders defense. And basically, all of my preseason takes on the Washington Commanders were proven right on Monday night. They got exposed as being an old, slow defense. So and all the Chiefs had to do was wait for blown coverage, and the Commanders had like 4 or 5 bad reads on defenses, and all 5 of those plays, so the Chiefs racked up a lot of yardage. So I big game for Sam Darnold, big game obviously when you look at it for JSN. I could see Kenneth Walker having a good day coming off the bye. So give me Seattle to win this game 34-21 over the Commanders. I think it's gonna be a crusher.
Real crusher indeed. And then last but not least, it's the Monday night game. It's my boys, Cowboys, coming off of the big loss against the Broncos. They're heading home, facing the Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys are 3-point favorites, and Natalie says he's going to take the Cowboys to win and cover with a score of 24-20. And I'm going to take. I'm taking the Cowboys straight up. I'm taking the Cowboys for a bounce back win. Call it 27-24.
I actually thought this was the toughest game of the week for me to pick. So that's about because you do have the Cardinals that'll be coming off a bye week here, but
Yeah.
but the Cowboys are a much better team at home than they are on the road. They are 2-0-1 at home. They crushed the Giants. They crushed the Commanders. But I think just know if this Cardinals team is trustworthy or not. I had a lot of hopes for the Cardinals, but after that 2-0 start, they've lost 5 straight. So this is a game that can go either way. Here in all these spots here. So, I'm gonna pick the Cowboys because they have the quarterback advantage. So I'm looking at that as a potential factor here. Of course, as I mentioned, if you don't have if you don't have Zonovan Knight on your fantasy team, make sure he's on your roster. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. should be able to bounce back in this one, and then also Trey McBride is going to have a matchup in this one too. But give me the Cowboys to win this one, 31-27. And if you're somehow still in a survivor pool, I would not touch this game or bet on this game.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I think I feel the same way about that one. We have a fantasy question.
Yes.
Landy, he says he traded Henry, Warren, Igbuka, and Swift for JSN, Bijan Robinson, Debo Samuel, and Kenneth Walker. So his team is, I think it's Jaden Daniels, Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, Jackson Smith, Najigba, Drake London, George Kittle, Kenneth Walker, and Debo Samuel. His bench players are Joe Flacco, J.K. Dobbins,
Amari and
Hampton,
Hampton.
Amari and Hampton. Well, he's pretty much on the IR. And he's got a Wilson and Hunter.
Holy cow! I mean,
So was he was 5-3 trending downhill. Did I save my season?
holy cow! That is a loaded team there because if you have Bijan and Gibbs on the same team, I mean that's crazy stuff. And then JSN being the number 1 receiver in fantasy, wow, that's a championship or bust type of roster in fantasy.
Yeah, I'll give you some points on that. Yeah, I'll give you a lot of points. That's a very solid team. You should be going pretty far in this league so far. So 5-3 trending down. So looks like you're going to be on your way up. You're on your way back up.
Yep.
All right, now it's time to answer the trivia questions. So we'll start with we'll start with Dashy's one. The miracle games that feature the Jets or the Giants. Now, like I said, I know about a miracle game against the Giants. That was back in was it 1980? It was the Giants.
It was 1978.
78. Okay, I knew it was either late 70s or early 80s. It was the Giants against the Eagles. It was called the Miracle in the Meadowlands. I think the Giants quarterback was throwing a pass, but it somehow got tipped and it was intercepted by a young player by the name of Herman Edwards,
Yeah.
and he returned the ball for the touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not no. So actually, what it was that this was before kneel downs were allowed. So the Giants were just trying to hand the ball off and go down to run out the clock. But it was a botched handoff, and and Herman Edwards who recovered the botched snap and returned it for a touchdown.
Oh, botch snap.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
so it didn't take it only happened in the late '80s where kneel downs became a legal football play.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have the Miracle of the Meadowlands 2010 where the Giants had a 31-10 lead. Deshaun Jackson had a walk-off punt return touchdown for the Eagles in that one. And then the miracle, then the Jets miracle was the Monday Night Miracle at home against the Dolphins. The Jets had a huge lead. No, the Dolphins had a huge lead. The Jets came all the way back, um, and they wound up winning that game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking it might have been that. So, Dash, you just let us know if we are correct on either one of those.
Yep.
And meanwhile, my question, of course, is which player holds the NFL record for most sacks in one game?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with OCU Minorum because I don't know anyone else for that one.
O.C. Umanura. He's actually number 4 on the list. Well, actually, he's tied for second with 6 sacks in one game. He is actually tied with Khalil Mack in 2003, Adrian Claiborne in 2017, O.C. Umanura did it in 2007, and Fred Dean in 1983. Actually, the player who holds the record for the most sacks in one game, the late great Derek Thomas for the Chiefs. It was against the Seahawks on November 11th, 1990, and Derek ended up getting 7 sacks in that game.
Wow.
Yeah. So the late great Derek Thomas, probably one of the greatest defensemen that the Chiefs ever had. Hey, Dashy, are you still there? Hey, Dashy, if you're still there, let us know the answers to. He's got the answers right here.
Basically, what we just said.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was. Yep. 78 Eagles Giants game with Herder Edwards. The Monday Night Miracles Dolphins Jets. And of course, Miracle at the Meadowlands 2. Eagles Giants. Yep. That's what it was. So, pretty good stuff here. And I guess with that, we will go ahead and close this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. A little bit of a note for everyone. Mr. Flynn, unfortunately, will not be joining us next week, right?
I will not be on the podcast next week. But I will try and provide the pick graphic along the way. So.
All right. Then Mr. Natali should be back with me for next week's show. So, but of course, you've already got your first edition for this week of Hooked on Sports already up and available right now. You'll have your NFL picks sometime in a day or two.
Yeah.
All right. So be sure to listen to Hooked on Sports with John Flynn. Go on Apple iTunes, go to Spotify, go to TuneIn. And now you can also watch Hooked on Sports on his YouTube channel, the channel you're watching right now, John Flynn.
Yep.
And of course, tomorrow night, don't forget the Pain Game Pick'em show with me, Alex, and Lucas, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on the A Pizzle 90 channel. So, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
I mean, I will not be. I will not be here until after next week. So if you have local elections, be sure you go out and vote. You exercise democracy's most fundamental right. So So make sure you go vote because local elections matter just as much as other elections.
Very nice, very important. So with that being said, I think we will go ahead and put a tie, a ribbon around this one, and we've set it out, and that will be it. So y'all enjoy the games coming up when we're here week 9. I will see you guys tomorrow night for Parent Game Pick'ems, and we'll be back here next Tuesday for another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. So on behalf of our good buddy John Natali, and of course Mr. John Flynn over here, my name is Tim McKellen. Thanks for joining us, everyone. God bless you all, and as always, be a good sport. See ya.